Texas Podcast Massacre contains spoilers and adult language. For more horror, visit us at our website at texaspodcastmassacre.com.
I knew we should have gone to the bird sanctuary.
I need the biggest seed bell you have. No, that's too big.
This is Texas Podcast Massacre.
Welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, coming to you from Houston, Texas. I'm your host, Mitch, and with me as always are my lovebirds, Lisa.
Simpsons did it.
And Nate.
I loathe you.
Well, that's rude.
Look how
That's not a surprise.
Look how I locked eyes with you.
Wow.
I know, that was...
Yeah, get
wow,
ready.
Jesus.
Truth telling.
Well, it's been long coming, I'm sure.
Right.
Well, each week on Texas Podcast Massacre, we take a look at a different horror movie and debate a horror-related topic with our unsuspecting victim, who is usually someone that we would not call a horror fan. This week, we're going to hop in our Aston Martin and take a trip down to Bodega Bay to review The Birds with returning unsuspecting victim Taylor. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So last time you were here, as I recall, we were avoiding infected zombie beavers, if you will.
Thanks for taking
If you will, you mean the title of the movie?
Yeah,
sure. If you will, the title of the movie.
Yeah. So animal horror is this
this is
genre that
Are we pigeonholing you into this?
yes. That is a warning that's you're gonna hear that drop and those puns a lot in this episode. Yeah, so I guess you're gonna be our resident
Animals attack.
Animal expert.
Yeah.
Really.
Or-
Yeah.
yeah. Matt is
Matt's
our Asian film
horror, yeah.
Correspondent.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, you said Taylor to me that you like talking about birds. This is correct.
I
right?
do like talking about birds
See, got it.
in horror films, in real life. I find birds interesting and also oftentimes very scary. So
Okay. Well,
What
appropriate
interesting
topic.
fact do you have about birds in general? Or do you have one?
Well, I have an interesting anecdote from my past where in college, I went to war with some birds that were building a nest on my porch because they were building it right above the door and I didn't want them there. So
Were they ravens?
no, they were swallows and swallows are quite gross. So
Oh, interesting.
yeah, so I put up a net to keep them away. It was
Nice.
a bird net.
a bird net. You can
Okay.
get them at Lowe's.
They
I
needed
found
them.
this out.
They
Lowe's.
needed them at this movie.
Net those birds. Okay, so who won the bird wars?
I got rid of them, so
Okay.
I won.
Nice.
But it
So
was
For now.
Hold on. yeah. If I get rid of, what are we talking about here?
no. I just put the net up and they went elsewhere. I didn't
Oh,
kill
okay.
them.
Okay.
I don't resort to violence. I just didn't want them nesting there.
Okay. So maybe something for all future bird-related horror movies is just get more nets.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the people in this town do
Bam.
not have nets.
They-
So.
yeah, nets
We'll
were
get
not
into that.
nowhere at the general store in Bodega Bay. All right, with that said, I think we should get into our debate question of the week.
We will see how the Lord favors you.
No, you dare not blaspheme. He will punish you. The jaws of hell will devour you. All of you. No.
All right, so this week we are talking The Birds, the classic Alfred Hitchcock film. Now, spoiler alert, because if you haven't seen this movie already, I mean, it's forever at this point. I think there's no statute of limitations. They don't ever really come out and say why the birds are attacking.
Yeah.
So we're just going to get that out in the open. We're not going to be able to tell you that, but we are going to debate it. And so that's my question to each of y'all. Why do you think the birds are attacking all of a sudden in this film? Nate, why
Nope.
don't you-
Next, who else? Someone
Oh,
else go
Nate's-
first. I'm still thinking. I'm still
You're
formulating.
still formulating.
Formulating
okay.
a plan.
Who wants to jump on this one?
It's easy.
Oh, okay.
It's easy.
It's
You know
easy.
why? Because birds are the worst. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They crap all over you. They steal your food.
Literally crap all over you.
They
Yeah.
randomly attack people. Former unsuspecting victim Linda was attacked by birds. I witnessed it. Literally
Didn't
took
help her, but witnessed it.
literally we were
Well,
sitting
what do you
outside.
do when you see that? You just run. You're
Yeah,
just like,
you
well,
just-
you
you
belong
let
to the
it go.
birds now.
We were sitting outside eating. A bird literally came up to her plate and started like taking food off her plate. And we're like, yeah, I guess we're done eating. Okay.
Well, I mean,
So
is that
Case
really,
in
is that
point,
really
why I did
random?
not want them on my porch.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
you go.
So no, it's you don't need a reason. Birds are just the worst.
The birds.
And they realized they could mobilize.
Yeah.
Something clicked, and they're like, "Oh, we can take these people down."
So the TLDR version of Lisa's answer: birds are assholes. All right.
Pretty much.
It's not far off from where I was kind of thinking as well.
Yeah.
Taylor, what about you? What do you?
So my theory is, and I'm not sure exactly how this all connects, but I think it has something to do with those lovebirds because they showed up in Bodega Bay,
Okay.
and then all the birds start attacking there,
Mhm.
and I think they had some kind of evil, malicious intent.
Okay.
They never
okay.
were loving on each other either. They were always kind of separate and just kind of
staring people down.
staring people down, looking malevolent, looking malicious.
So, like,
and then the girl took them with her at the
Yeah.
end, which means this is not going to end. The lovebirds are the cause of it all.
Okay.
Maybe they're trying to find those birds. Like they're, I don't know. the
Free
king
them?
and
no.
queen.
There was some sort of cult
Yeah.
who was conjuring some sort of demons or the devil or some sort of thing, and then they like messed up. Like they're trying to get into a person. They're like, oh shit! Like there were these birds right next to them, and they accidentally
conjure them into the birds.
Exactly. And then whenever the birds go somewhere, shit gets fucked up.
Yeah.
So further proof, at the beginning, Mitch goes into this kind of ethical morality stance in the pet shop about why birds shouldn't be in cages, and doesn't that make you sad? And then she brings the birds in the cage, and all the other birds are like, you shouldn't do that. That's wrong. Attack.
I like it.
But they also attacked the guy who was defending them. But hey, some people get caught in the crossfire.
But he
right?
didn't release them.
It's true. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to sit there and talk, Nate.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did not act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All it's just
You're
talk
saying
and talk.
you're saying he was just parroting really good beliefs there. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go.
Take Nate's notes away from
I'm
him.
just gonna go. I haven't even crossed off the ones that are on my list.
Oh my
These are separate. I'm gonna go play off what Taylor said. I think that what was the little girl's name? She was Kathy. right?
Kathy.
I think Kathy is literally the same as Damien from The Omen. She's causing all the birds to go crazy. We know Damien can control dogs, make people hang themselves, has creepy followers.
But doesn't she get attacked too?
Yeah, to throw
She
them off the
does.
scent. To throw them off the scent.
So just
Lisa.
enough,
She's
but
like one
not
of the
to
first
hurt them.
attacked.
Yeah, like on her birthday party, she's like, oh, that girl took my cake. You know what? Burn it all down.
Birds.
Boom.
Wow.
And
Sure,
yeah,
they attacked the school too.
they attacked the school. She's like, I want to get out of school today. Boom, attack. I'm out of school.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. You're welcome.
Wow.
You're welcome. Kathy, undercover Damien.
I mean, that's a
This
thought,
is
I guess.
this is neither here nor there, but that is the first girl I've seen named Kathy. I've only ever met Kathys when they are of an adult age. I've never met a child Kathy.
well, yeah,
It-
because
it
this took place
weirded
55
me
years
out.
ago, Mitch.
weirded me out. All right, for me, I think kind of similar. I think Lydia, the mother, was the one controlling them.
Oh, yeah?
Miss
I mean,
Daisy?
let's look at who all's getting just
Miss
like murdered.
Daisy, yeah.
Miss Daisy, murdering everybody. The school teacher is getting murdered so that she can get her daughter back. I think she's having the birds actually go after Tippi Hedren in this movie. Melissa in this.
Melanie.
Thank you. Yeah. I think she's trying to keep people away from her precious Mitch.
But then she ruins her own china in her own house. I don't know. That's
well, no,
tough.
Mitch did that. And she was very upset about it. She still hangs it up. But that's not her. That's because Mitch flung the
So
table.
you're saying the plan got out of control.
yes, as well as they often do, Nate.
Yeah.
in these situations.
Yeah.
When she summoned all the birds via the fireplace
Yeah. Well,
into
yeah.
their home and destroyed it.
Yep.
Well, she's a witch. We talked. I mean, so mine was Damien, literally the
Well,
son of the devil.
I think that the mom was right. She just picked the wrong witch. There be witches, Nate.
God.
And it's Lydia. Easy.
Okay.
Easy. All right. Well,
Jesus.
Well, if you have a theory about why the birds are going, I guess no one wanted to pitch global warming or any sort of.
I don't want to plagiarize other movies that could be coming up.
So if you have a thought about why the birds are attacking in this classic movie, let us know at TX Pod Massacre. You can also leave a message on this episode's page on our website at TexasPodcastMassacre.com. Also, if you are tuning in on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, please make sure to leave us a review, comment. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. And as always, if you don't like us, make sure you tell all your most hated enemies.
Rate us. If you don't like us, tell your enemies. If you're a bird enthusiast, listen to our other episodes.
Yeah.
Give us a chance.
Yeah. Don't judge it by this bird.
Exactly.
Cover. Yeah. All right. Well, with that said, I think let's just get right into this week's movie of the week, The Birds.
How do you do? My name is Alfred Hitchcock, and I would like to tell you about our good friends, the birds.
That's the damnedest thing I ever saw.
Birds just don't go around attacking people without no reason.
Yes, they attack the children. Attack them.
What's the matter with all the birds? Birds are not aggressive creatures, miss. They bring beauty into the world.
Those gulls attack.
Impossible.
They came in right down the chimney.
Why are they doing things?
It's the end of the world.
Are the birds gonna eat us, Mommy?
Get yourselves guns and wipe them off the face of the earth.
That would hardly be possible.
Mitch, don't!
The 5 continents of the world contain more than 100 billion birds.
All at once, the birds were everywhere.
Why don't you all go home? Lock your doors and windows.
Did you get the windows in the attic? When do you think they'll come?
What happens when you run out of wood?
I don't know.
You don't know. When will you know? When we're all dead.
They're coming!
All right, well, we just heard all the dialogue from this movie.
The best.
Thanks for listening to Texas Podcast Massacre. No.
Look, we're just trying to get everyone caught up quicker so we can get into the in-depth analysis.
Wow. Every character had a line in that trailer. Every single one.
Including the diner people.
Yeah.
All of them.
Well, funny, when I was looking up the trailer on YouTube for this, some people have remade it as a more modern trailer, and that seems, they've got like new music and they've kind of scored it a little bit differently.
What you're saying is you messed up by not using that, is what you're saying.
No. This one was significantly better. There was also a 5-minute version of just Alfred Hitchcock doing his teaser, but it's definitely one you need to watch because there's a lot of double entendres with a lot of the bird talk he's doing. Like he's eating a chicken at one point. Wow.
Wow.
I mean, it's awesome, but way too long. Lisa, if you had to describe this movie to someone, some alien at this point who's never heard of the birds,
as the unsuspecting bird victim.
Yeah. What do you tell them about this movie?
A spoiled brat goes to a random location to chase after some guy and apparently brings a birdemic with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's mostly
that is that's pretty much solid. Yeah. So Nate, what do you have for us for this one?
Yeah. So I can talk about this movie a lot, so I'll try to keep this short. But this movie came out in 1963. So again, spoilers for this 55-year-old movie. If you haven't seen it by now, I apologize. It's 119 minutes, almost 2 hours. 7.7 IMDb, could be one of the high. I have to double check, but this could be one of the highest movies we've ever done by a large margin. It's 96 on Rotten Tomatoes. It's well beloved by pretty much everybody. The tagline is suspense and shock beyond anything you have seen or imagined. That's hyperbole. And there's another tagline that says it could be the most terrifying motion picture ever made. Could be is the key phrase there. I mean, this is a little bit too much. The budget was $2.5 million and the box office was $11 million in 63. So that's pretty spectacular. I would say probably half of the budget had to have been bird wrangling.
I would say cleanup.
Oh, it was the cleanup. Because this is one of the only movies that has a trainer of birds credit in the very beginning. Never have seen that before, ever. They had a lot of birds. I think it was something like 2,000 birds or something like that they were training. So I mean, it was nuts. The director obviously is Alfred Hitchcock. Psycho, North by Northwest, Vertigo, Man Who Knew Too Much, Catch the Thief, Rear Window, Dial M for Murder, Strangers on a Train, Rope, Notorious, Rebecca, 39 Steps, and various other movies. He's done everything. I just want to do a quick roundtable on this real fast. Where does this rank up in the Alfred Hitchcock movies that you guys have seen? I'm very interested. So for me, it's very high.
Wait, compared to what? What have you seen?
All of his other movies. I've seen every movie he's ever done.
You have not.
Yeah, I have. Yep. I have an Alfred Hitchcock set of basically every movie he's ever done. So,
all right. Mitch?
I would put this, probably 3.
Oh, so it's very high also.
Well, not so much. I haven't seen as many Alfred Hitchcock movies as you have. I've seen maybe 4 or 5. So
what have you seen?
I put it in the middle. So I would put Psycho number 1. Psycho is by far and away
that's always going to be
the best movie.
Yeah.
Dial M for Murder is pretty fantastic. So I would put that over this. Then Birds.
Okay. What about you, Lisa?
Number 2.
How many?
Because I've only seen Psycho. So
this is your second Hitchcock film.
Yes.
So you've seen this and Psycho. So man, for you, Alfred Hitchcock is just nailing it in general. Or maybe not. All right. Well, we'll preview for the final cut.
We'll see.
Happening here. Okay. No. What about you, Taylor?
So this is not my favorite Hitchcock film, but I haven't seen as many as you.
Okay.
I'm with Mitch. I prefer Psycho, Dial M for Murder, Vertigo, Rear Window. I don't know. Most of his other films. I like this one a lot, but it's just
like
not as rewatchable.
Medium to lower in the ones you've seen, probably.
If you had asked me before we did this movie, Birds may have been higher. I'm kind of there. Vertigo. Yeah, Vertigo's a good one.
Vertigo's fantastic.
It's kind of right about the same level as the Birds for me.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, it becomes more about the technical of what you're saying. Like you're just appreciating the skill that went into making it versus the actual just overall movie in general.
So it's like bird wrangling, high
birds
skill.
at people?
Yeah, bird wrangling, high skill, great shots, beautiful filmography.
Yeah.
But I just think the plot is a little bit lacking, and it's not like a mind bender like a lot of Hitchcock films.
True. Okay. Yeah. This is a little more straightforward.
So, you got more facts?
I got a shit.
Because I got a couple. If you don't say,
yeah, no, you go for it.
No, I was just gonna say one interesting thing about the releases. Apparently, in some UK theaters, they put speakers outside of the theaters, hid them in the trees, and played the birds screeching as people were coming out of the theater.
Nice.
To kind of freak them out.
Nice.
And the other interesting thing is, y'all have all seen the poster for this, right?
Yeah.
With someone covering their hands. That's not Tippi Hedren. That's Jessica Tandy.
Yeah.
I think everyone thinks it's Tippi because they just show some lady, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. It's her when they attack in the living room. So.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Segue. The main actress of this movie is Tippi Hedren.
You're
it was
welcome,
her
Nate.
first movie. Then the next year she did a movie Marnie with Sean Connery, also for Alfred Hitchcock, which is a great movie also.
But she had done a TV commercial, so
yeah,
well-established actress.
When she was like, "Ooh, Alfred Hitchcock wants to have me in a movie," she's like, or Alfred Hitchcock wants to work with me. She's like, "Oh, sweet, like the TV show, Alfred Hitchcock Presents." And it's like, no, an actual movie. She's like, "Oh shit, this is awesome." She is the mom of Melanie Griffith and the grandmother of Dakota Johnson, who will be starring in Suspiria. So, boom, horror link.
Dakota Johnson from
50 Shades.
50 Shades, yes. I always was Suspiria with a better movie.
Well, yes, Suspiria.
The Birds also had a sequel, Birds 2, the 1994 TV movie, which no one should ever watch ever. Hitchcock tried to totally bang her during Marty, and she's like, "All right, well, I'm out on this, and no more Hitchcock movies for her."
Apparently, so this is getting deep in the movie, but there's a couple scenes he made her film with live birds because she pissed him off.
Oh, she's like, "Oh, you don't want to start macking on me? Throw the birds at her. Train her birds. Hey, train her birds. Come over here a second. On her, right here. Sick them. Go for it." But Tippi Hedren, after that horrific ordeal, became a huge animal rights activist. So there you go.
Yeah, after having the plight of birds thrown at her.
Yeah, she's like, "Fuck you, Hitchcock. I like the birds better who attacked me. You suck." The main actor of this movie, Mitch, no relation to our Mitch, is Rod Taylor. He's from Australia. He was a voice in 101 Dalmatians. He was in The Time Machine. He was in Giants, which is amazing. He was in the movie Top Gun, the 1955 Western version. And he was Winston Churchill in Inglourious Bastards. So awesome actor. And then the mom, Lydia, was Miss Daisy, as Lisa alluded to. She was in Fried Green Tomatoes. And Mitch's two favorite movies, Cocoon and Cocoon 2. As we've established, Mitch is a huge Cocoon fan.
So the reason that they named Rod Taylor Mitch was because they wanted to film in that diner.
Yeah.
And the diner owner's name was Mitch. And he said, I'll only let you film in my diner if you name the main guy Mitch. And Hitchcock was like, sure, whatever.
Done.
Sounds
That
good.
yeah, that's a ballsy move because that could have backfired. It could have been Mitch is the biggest asshole,
Right?
Like
Yeah.
just like the first scene of introducing
There's so many Mitches. Who gives a shit?
kicking some kid down the street or something.
Yeah, so then the owner of this diner is going to lose business? I mean, come on.
Might have.
That's ridiculous. So it was actually 3,200 birds were trained for this movie.
Wow.
That's a shit ton of birds. The seagulls were fed wheat and whiskey to get them to stay
Isn't that
still.
crazy?
Doesn't
Just
seem-
weighed them
doesn't seem
down.
good.
Just like Lisa, she's like, I'm that gluten just slows me down.
Telling you.
Yeah. This movie is crazy because it had no score, so there's
Yeah.
no music really in this movie other than like children singing. I guess other than that,
Yeah.
there really wasn't a whole lot. And yeah, it was adapted from Daphne du Maurier short story. She wrote Rebecca and Jamaica Inn, which were two other stories that he adapted for his earlier movies. And Hitchcock, this is for you, Taylor. Hitchcock kept a graph in his office of the bird attacks over the course of the film. So he had bird attack visualizations in his office even after he made the movie. So yeah, it was a pretty influential movie, Mitch. You must agree.
I mean, yeah, I know back in my band days, we would all start getting ready by singing Whistle T, Whistle, Russell T, La Di Da, or whatever the hell that song was.
Yeah, you know it very well. Sounds like.
I looked at the lyrics to that thing, by the way. It is a very odd song to have school children singing for an inordinate amount of time in this movie. It
You're
goes.
saying the birds attack them. She's like, fuck this song. Like,
You know
we're
what?
attacking.
I would amend my answer from earlier. I think it's this song. This was really the calling of the bird.
Okay, nice. Okay, wow.
Yeah, so we kind of started talking about them. So these characters, we have Melanie, who is the daughter of, I guess, a half owner of the San Francisco newspaper, and Mitch, who is a lawyer who apparently is prosecuting her, or maybe about some prank. I don't know. I didn't quite understand how they sort of knew each other.
Mitch, she did something illegal. So she had to get got after.
I hate myself.
Come on.
What you get for letting him control drops.
Y'all have complained about me being the only one. I'm trying to share.
I didn't mean Nate. I meant me.
Oh, well, you should have specified, I guess.
All right, so Taylor, take us through the beginning of this movie, because you were saying earlier that this was one of your favorite parts of the movie.
By far my favorite part, because it
Okay.
was so strange, and I think actually the scariest part of this movie was getting into Melody Daniels' psyche,
Yeah.
and understanding what a crazy person she was, and then also him just being into it for whatever reason. So they meet in San Francisco. He stalks her in this pet shop, and then they have some weird little cat and mouse game in the pet shop, and then she goes off and finds some lovebirds for him, and then figures out, oh, he's not here in San Francisco. He's in Bodega Bay. So let me just deliver the birds to him. Oh, let's not deliver the birds just to him. Let's find out the name of his sister from the school teacher in town, and then write a note to the sister, and then not deliver them in person. Let's sneak into his house and leave them in the spooky ass living room with the note to the sister, and then watch from a boat as he finds the birds. So weird. What a weird plot and progression to get her to Bodega Bay.
Taking lovebirds to a random person was their Tinder. Okay, that's how it was.
Swipe left. Well, it's crazy because she's basically she's acting like an employee of this bird shop. And she's basically just winging it.
Is she though? I feel like I don't know that she's just like. I think he just came in and was like, "Oh, excuse me, miss, can you help me with this?" I don't think she was like acting like she worked there.
I think he knew who she was to begin with, and he was playing along with whatever
with
the
her,
weird
sure.
little role play was.
She was there to buy a bird.
It was straight role play.
Yeah.
They were really getting into it.
She was there to buy a bird that would swear for her. straight laced ant.
Yeah.
This is gonna be one of those things too. I feel like when I was watching her go through meticulously finding where he lived, who all the steps. Invasion of privacy was so much harder back then. Like now it's just so easy. You just have to get on a Tor client, get on the dark web.
What the fuck? What?
Whoa,
Get the identities.
that got
It's
dark.
so easy. Now it's. I mean,
You're pitching a Birds Unfriended Dark Web crossover movie is what it sounds like.
we'll find out.
Don't
at the end
give
of
your
this
sequel
episode.
up.
I will say though, she also made it harder than it needed to be because she could have just driven to the house and then she was like, "No, I want it to be a surprise. I don't want anyone to know I was there."
I want to stealth boat it.
Yeah, let me borrow a boat. Let me rent a boat to drive to boat across the lake to him. And
One
then she
of
did
the
it all
best
in such
parts.
style too.
It
She
was
wore
awesome.
fur the whole
Yes.
time. She wore
Heels.
heels the whole time.
This is pre-animal activist days.
Yeah, it was.
She
She
was
was
wearing full fur
right
coats.
after this movie.
But did you love how she shut the guy down? Do you want me? Can you order me a boat? Do you know how to work that boat? Hell yes, I know how to work that boat. Order it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. She was really ruffling a lot of feathers in this town for sure.
Oh my!
But what I really liked in the bird shop scene though was that there's so many more puns. There are so many more.
I got you on that one, fam.
What I really liked is that like he's totally messing with her because he knows her because she was getting prosecuted for like making a some prank of hers went sideways and a plate glass window broke or exploded or something, right?
Supposedly.
So
But
allegedly.
is it any wonder when we look at how far she
She
went
will
for
go
this prank?
far.
She went too far.
She will go far. She went 70 miles.
She broke
far.
a lot of windows in Bodega Bay too.
She
Yeah,
did.
it wasn't her fault, I guess. According
Who
to
knows?
your
Depends on how you take it.
hypothesis,
But
definitely.
I don't know. Something about Mitch apparently is life changing.
Well, no, because he was messing
Yeah,
with her, and
true.
she's like, you know what, two can play that game.
But then
But
Annie
no,
Hayworth.
but I'm talking about the school. Jesus, two can. The school teacher though is just like, yeah, we dated for a while and it was a lot of fun, and then me and the mom were getting along, so we broke up. But then I said I'll just move to Bodega Bay to just be near him. Not really interested in pursuing a relationship.
yeah, this guy is
near
a
this
chick
guy.
magnet.
Yeah,
Chick. So terrible.
Yeah.
Was it me or did he look ridiculously like Robin Williams?
A little bit in the eyes.
I
get
Google
what
it.
you're saying.
There's people out there that caught it too. I'm not alone.
If you think that
Robin Williams wishes he was even close to
If you
this.
think he does, then tweet us.
Yeah. Oh, God, you're getting in on this. Getting in on it.
I can't wait for this thing to be broken by the end of this episode. that
one
button's
button.
never going to work
Yeah.
again after this. Oh my God.
man.
Yeah. So, I mean, so there is a school teacher. I thought she was an interesting, just kind of odd that was her reasoning for being there. I feel like they missed a opportunity for a great horror film with just the crazy ex being there. Cause she's like, the whole time she's like, oh, really? You're here to see Mitch, huh? Huh. Yeah.
There's no tension between us at all.
Yeah.
No.
But then she let her stay there.
You want to stay in this special room? Sure.
She was big about it, though. I had mad props for Annie Hayworth, and that was by far the saddest moment of the movie for me, was her untimely demise.
Yeah.
But
Oh, that was awful.
She's not
she,
going to be alive.
she was cool. She was the most like.
Tomorrow.
Jeez.
So
That's
they
your bottom dollar.
they changed the character for that actress because originally the school teacher was going to be older and more like kind of spinster
Love
like,
triangle. Gotta have it.
but then they
Do you?
basically gave her a richer character because they didn't want to just be some nobody.
Yeah, but I mean, an older lady makes more sense than like, hey, I moved to this town because this guy and us dated for like a couple months, and then like I just kind of stayed forever.
it was
Yikes.
interesting.
We're not dating, but me and her mom are besties now.
You know, it's a
Her
real,
mom are besties.
you know, it's a real good in teaching like his somehow younger sister,
much
like
younger.
20 years younger.
Yeah.
sister.
Much younger.
And
How's that
I'm
happening?
from a small town, but not from that small of a town. There was one school teacher for just this one group of kids. I
Yeah,
guess.
Bodega Bay. It's
they're-
a sleepy hamlet on the
Was she for
California
all of
coast.
them though? Or
That's
she
how- I
was-
mean, yeah.
she, in the classroom it just said the 4th grade. So I was hopeful there were maybe
Oh,
other
I don't
teachers.
know.
But then
So
that was
they
the
only
group that
rescued
got
that one class?
evacuated. Yeah. I don't know.
Like everyone else can fend for themselves. It's fine. Those
It doesn't check
kindergartners will
out,
be
but
fine.
Maybe it's 1 grade per day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
yeah, I don't know.
Who knows?
So I will say at one point, so this movie's 2 hours, and I know I've seen this long ago when I was younger. I did not remember all of this. I remember the birds distinctly.
Yeah.
I remember the second hour. The first hour, I maybe remember like 5 minutes of it.
Oh, really?
So when I saw this movie as 2 hours, I was like, oh, that seems weird. Is this a director's cut?
No. You weren't aware of like when the movie migrates from San Francisco to Bodega Bay?
That was it. But I didn't know that. I forgot they went through a whole relationship pre-date.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
the birds and the bees, everything.
Yeah, this could have been trimmed down to an easy hour and a half.
Half of this podcast is a pun in that drop.
At this point,
this is not our normal episode. Please keep listening to our future episodes. Everyone, I apologize.
Or maybe people, yeah. Yes, I mean, about an hour in, I was like, where are the birds?
Where are the birds?
Is this like
If there's some subtle hints, it's like a bird dead here. Like
I felt the same way watching the bird cage. Where are the birds?
The main thing.
When are they getting here?
Yeah.
I'm tired of these false advertisers.
All these Robin Williams references. What is happening right now? I mean, the first time you know when something is going wrong is that cheap shot that the seagull hits when Tippi Hedren is coming back.
Someone had to put her in her place. Though.
Yeah.
That was absurd.
I mean, is Tippi Hedren not? So imagine this. Imagine that Basic Instinct was 25 years earlier. This chick is basically Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct.
Sure.
Minus
it's like a total manipulative psychopath going after people.
Minus the cooking the rabbit.
Sure.
That part seemed to.
There was no leg
cut.
crossing scene or whatever, but I'm sure Hitchcock tried to push it.
Oh, I'm sure.
But she
that was for his
rejected that.
private reel.
Exactly. Oh
my gosh.
But yeah, she's a psychopath. Can we all agree on this?
She's a psycho.
Right?
Yes.
Psychopath.
Truly. But she's
She
also
even-
very iconic while she does really psycho things. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she drops some great lines. She just has a good air about her.
Yeah.
But she just keeps lying. She's like, me and the school teacher go way back.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
Like, I'm amazed
She
the
weaves this web.
Yeah,
and-
to your point, Taylor, the school teacher, kudos to her that she's like, you know what, I'll roll with it. She doesn't know what's going on around here. Might as well.
And I also like how Mitch rolls with it. He's like, you were lying, weren't you? She's like, yeah. He's like, okay, whatever. We should still see each other.
Yeah, you're hot. I'm in.
All right.
Like, you could do a lot of things. I'm still in on this.
Can I say that apparently this is the first year the updo was a thing because
Oh,
everyone
this
went to the
happened. She
same
made this happen.
same hairstylist.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there anything else around the town before we get into
I
wanted
wanted
the meat
to
of this
get
movie?
I wanted to get Lisa's opinion on this. This town is basically Gilmore Girls. Can we agree on this?
Everyone's shaking no.
No.
I guess.
No.
Taylor broke a vertebra shaking your head so hard. Jeez. Okay.
That was embarrassing for you.
Not as good as.
There's a little bit because they all know each other.
Yes,
but
that's
there's
what I'm
about
thinking.
there was not as much camaraderie though. There was
Okay.
a lot more, I think, tension between
Yeah.
the townspeople.
Okay.
Following drunk people out of town, you know.
I will say the diner scene though was excellent. It
Egg-scelent?
went on way too long, but I loved
It went on forever.
It did.
But everyone randomly chiming in, and there were some great
Well, yeah, I mean,
gold
won't
nuggets
Someone
throughout
please think
that.
of the children.
Not every diner has an ornithologist who just expound about birds for a couple
100
minutes.
billion birds.
Yeah, that's a lot of
If
birds.
someone check the math on it.
yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it was good. So, did you guys think the atmosphere and the town folk and all of the building of the relationships, do you think that helped or hurt or even was any impact at all when the bird attacks start happening? Did it set up anything for you guys? No,
It didn't.
I thought
they
it did.
didn't
See, I
really
thought
band
it did.
together.
No, they
They
were
let
fighting.
the guy blow up at the gas station.
Dude, that was
That scene was awesome.
Yeah, incredible.
so. There's 3 deaths in this movie,
Yes.
Gas
station
Well, I
guy.
mean, there's significantly more, but there's 3
but they only show kind of
fully
3.
shown deaths. Yeah. I thought the guy with his eyes pecked out when they first kind of started thinking the chickens are acting
The
up.
birdseed guy.
Man, that was some for the time. That was some pretty awesome
Yeah.
effects for making it
Makeup.
look like his eyes got poked
Yeah.
It was
out.
frightening.
Yeah, I mean that's a really tough pill
With
to
the other-
swallow for that mom for sure.
I did love
that
her
wasn't
dramatic
great.
run through the
Okay.
hallway. She reacted very well.
Yeah, like she
Yeah.
couldn't even she's so
threw her
impacted,
arms in the
she
air
couldn't even
and-
talk about it.
No.
and
Arm
rolled
throws?
down the hallway.
Yeah, arm throws, sure.
I liked all
Talking?
the wall rolling that took place in this film. That
Yeah.
was a legitimate reaction with fear. Was let me throw my arms up and roll along this wall. That was probably my favorite. I guess reaction of anything, but
Yeah, that was good.
So I'm curious, and I think you're about to get to it, Mitch, but there's a lot of attacks in this movie. So which did y'all like the most?
I mean, for me, the eyes getting pecked out, that was pretty cool. Now, in terms of the actual like visual attack, I mean, those children getting run down is impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, just in the way it's shot, in the way those kids are, flailing around, getting, the birds are getting in their hair and their clothes. I mean, like, it's well done, particularly for just random kids. I'm sure he just like found like, hey.
Yeah,
so
come over. a lot of cheap shots.
I guess
for sure. On these kids.
I guess child labor laws weren't in effect because Hitchcock actually had some of those kids come in and film part of it on a treadmill, but they were tripping over each other, so they kept falling down. I'm like, how would they let children do this? Yeah, I agree. That scene was particularly difficult. It's not so much of an attack, but I did like when he's walking out at the end and he's like trying to like tiptoe through the seagulls to get to the car. And that one he like puts his hand down for a second and that crow's just like snaps at him. Yeah, it's crazy.
Some of the injuries did not quite make a lot of sense to me. I get it. It's a different time. But like I had a bird growing up. That's never how these look.
And also, you can't blame the birds for that explosion at the gas station. That was human stupidity.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The birds did not cause that.
Right.
What about? Sorry. I was gonna say, what about y'all? What attack stood out?
I think the most frightening one to me was when the birds all came through the fireplace.
Oh,
I think that is like that was something that would terrify me. I'm not too worried about birds like dive bombing me in mass outside. Yeah. But man, if a herd of birds came through my fireplace, I would freak out.
I know.
That would be the worst. Like that's an actual nightmare.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We've already documented Taylor's hate for birds in general, even outside of her house.
I don't hate
Get
all birds.
inside her house.
Yeah, I don't want them in my house. I don't want them too close to me. I like them at a distance. They're fine at a distance.
So with binoculars.
So I'm assuming there's no you don't have any sort of caged bird in your place or anything like that. Okay.
And after this movie, I won't.
Okay.
Nate, what about you?
The attack on the kids' birthday party was pretty great. There's multiple attacks. There's the birthday party attack. There's like the opening salvo from the birds. And then there's the later kid attack coming from the school, which is, hey, if a bunch of birds attack people, maybe stay inside. No, don't send the kids outside of the school.
They were afraid they were going to come in, though.
Yeah, they broke in through the fireplace. They pecked through all the wood on the house at the end.
Yeah, it's almost like they got a bunch of
broke the windows
to get in these places. Terrible. That was awful.
That was the
worst. That was not
one.
a good one.
That was the worst.
Don't even.
Oh,
But no, he didn't deserve the good job.
I liked when it was the birthday party, and they were just like, "No, this party's not happening.
No,
we are gonna stop this." And then they don't believe, like, a bunch of birds attack these kids, and like, no one's like, "No, they don't do that." No. I'm a bird scientist. I think I know what happened when you were the eyewitness to it. Obviously, never gonna happen. That was nuts. I don't know.
Yeah. I do want to ask. So we, after these attacks, it does shift back to them holding themselves up into the house toward the end there.
Yeah.
And even then, these birds are aggressively pecking through wood. Somehow they're about to bust through a window, and there's the roof is totally opened up, and they're able to all get in there, and they attack Tippi Hedren. At what point? I mean, so what did you think about Mitch's strategy for keeping the birds out?
I mean, it was a good strategy.
What? That strategy sucked.
Okay, we have to give Mitch some credit, though, because the entire movie, every other character asks him, why are the birds attacking? He goes, I don't know. Everyone expects him to know everything about these birds attacking, and he's just a normal dude.
He's a fancy city lawyer from San Francisco.
He tried to get them to leave, and they're like, we're not going anywhere.
I did enjoy at one point, I think after he himself got attacked, that he's re-putting up wood, and then he's just like, I think by instinct and just nature, he just starts grabbing the women and like, sit down.
Sit down.
He's moving everyone to a couch.
He's stacking them like the wood that he was using.
Like he's just moving from wood person.
I was 60s.
That threw me off. I was
that
very
was
unclear. But he got them away from rolling on the walls, so that was good. They needed to sit.
Yeah.
It was just, he wasn't saying anything. He's just like moving on. I just think he was shocked. I think he was just like, I'm just doing this.
So Alfred Hitchcock, they had 3,200 birds, right? They obviously didn't have like only birds that were easy to. There was what kind of birds were there? There was like seagulls. There were crows.
Debatable if they were crows or blackbirds.
They're different.
That was never resolved.
They're different.
They are different, and
The
it was
lady
never
in the
resolved
movie
which
says
was
different.
present.
But they have a bunch of these birds, but like they didn't have.
I don't know. There was a murder.
Oh,
nice.
I was
actually a good
gonna
one.
say murder by murder, but you stole it from me. God damn it! But no,
would you say I swooped in there and took that from you? Yeah.
You are a party swooper for sure. No, they didn't have any woodpeckers they could have used because the woodpeckers, I mean, would just destroy these people. They could have got that into the movie.
I mean, they
then
practically
no one is
were.
safe. Yeah.
They were all pecked through that wood.
Yeah,
It's
but
fine.
imagine if it was woodpeckers.
Just 1,000
specifically.
woodpeckers.
Yeah, it's not like this whole town is just
What about
off
a big?
the map.
What about a big fucking albatross? I mean,
A condor just coming through windows
yeah.
to kill people.
Yeah, we're the vultures, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of birds they could have introduced to
Yeah.
this. I think that's my one negative in this film.
Not enough bird types.
Not enough type of bird. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
It needed to be like
55
look,
years ago.
But listen, here's the thing. Jurassic Park knows what its people want. We're going to give you all sorts of fucking dinosaurs.
Mitch, that was 30 years after this movie.
Come
on.
I don't care.
Well, they even made a point in the movie too about how it was unusual for multiple types of birds to band together. They don't flock together. So if there'd been even more beyond two, impossible. But yeah, if there'd been even more than two, it would have been more impactful. I'm with you, Mitch.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Someone.
If the
finally.
chickens had joined in.
So
the chickens.
True, there were a bunch of chickens.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see the
Alluded
chickens
to.
just chasing down some fucking kids. That would have been great.
Chicken Run.
Movie would have been 10 out of 10. Yeah, Chicken Run. Yeah. Oh, Christ.
I have one last question though.
All right.
The main relationship dynamic that evolves over time is the relationship between Kathy, the younger daughter / sister, and mom Lydia and Melanie. Right? Do you think that over the course of time that this was earned? Like so if in the beginning this lady's like, oh, this chick's in Rome, she's naked in fountains and shit. It's
Supposedly.
Allegedly.
It was a rival newspaper.
I mean, Ren in Rome, obviously. Yeah, you got to do that. But do you think that at the end, like they were all kind of banding together, was that like, did the character arc work for you guys?
I think the mom and Melanie, yes. Kathy was always terrible. And
She's always terrible.
She never redeemed herself. She was annoying from the beginning. She always used inappropriate, like not inappropriate in terms of like it was rude, but like it didn't fit with the sentence slang. And then was just aggressively like, Melanie, stay. Melanie, come back over. Melanie, the birds are going to attack, so you should hang out with us. I just didn't.
Like,
So don't
I just
free
want
yourself
someone
right
cool.
here.
My mom is the worst. I need
And
a
then-
cool person to hang out
Yeah, and then she couldn't even like handle herself at the end either to get back out to the car. Like everyone else was like, all right, let's all go together. And then she's back up there like, oh no, I need help. And I'm bringing the lovebirds that are evil too.
This is the part that is insane. Melanie almost dies at the end, right? She's getting pecked like 100 birds. Mitch grabs her.
Yep.
Mitch, again, just like our Mitch in our podcast, clutch all the time. Basically, she's like half asleep. All of a sudden, she wakes up 1,000,000 birds everywhere. And she's like, nope. He's like, no, just keep walking. Don't worry about it. Then the little girl is like, oh, I want to bring the birds with our escape plan away from the birds. And you just go, no. Like this,
They didn't do nothing to nobody, Nate.
Never bring birds away from the bird murder squad that's out in front of our house. Like, why? Mitch, why did you shut this down, Mitch?
Why?
Explain yourself.
You know what? At that point, you're just like, I don't give a shit. Just get in the car. When you have, look, now you'll appreciate this when little Malachi comes out. At a point, you're just going to do.
My kid Malachi?
Don't worry about that.
God,
The point is, when you have a child, you're just trying to like get that kid in to do whatever the hell you need to do. So whatever bargain you have to make at that moment in time, you just do.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Bring it. Bring the 5 stuffed animals. I don't give a shit. Just get in the car.
Okay.
Or we're never going to make it.
It was just a cope. It was just like a compromise just to get the shit going.
He's absolutely going to lose those in quotes lose those lovebirds.
A bird farm upstate.
Yeah,
there's a bird farm upstate that you will be sending them to.
I thought they might want to stretch their wings out, and they flew away. Oh well, maybe we'll consider getting some after the birds are done attacking humanity.
Yeah, but then Kathy might fly into a rage, so you don't want that, Mitch.
There's also a feature on the Blu-ray I borrowed from Nate that had I don't know if it was called the original ending or an alternate ending that was written in the script. It was never filmed. Alternate ending where it like shows kind of the whole script that wasn't shot. And I think the reason it probably was cut is it showed a lot more people dead, and it was probably maybe too graphic, or because they're driving through the town and there's a ton of birds and everyone's dead.
Oh yeah.
But then in the script too, Kathy, so apparently they stuck the lovebirds in the trunk. That's what happened when they get out of the car. They stick the lovebirds in the trunk, and she, at one point, they're driving out and they're seeing all this carnage, and she actually has the nerve to ask, "Do you think they're all right back there?" This kid's the worst. She's the worst.
The worst.
Oh my god.
Wow. Okay.
Well, yeah. So at the end of this movie, they get in the car in the Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna take the nice car.
Because you're going to take the soft top when you've just watched a bunch of birds pick through your door. I couldn't stand that. But I think the truck only seated 2, so I was like, okay, I'll go with it. But they took a literal soft top when birds are attacking.
Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
so they sneak in. I did love his slowly like bumping the bird, like, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, excuse me. And then he has to like help everyone in. And then they drive off ostensibly to San Francisco. Who knows? I know at one point, I think the original ending was supposed to be that the birds were going to be all over the Golden Gate Bridge. But Alfred Hitchcock and some interviewer or some had said he saw how much that would cost and said, I'm good. So I guess my question is, do you think that the birds have like, do you think it was spread out to San Francisco at that point? Do you think they're driving to safety, or do you think this is just the beginning of the larger?
It depends.
I thought they said on the radio that they had other attacks.
And I didn't think they made it to San Francisco.
In
one other town.
Santa Mira or
one
something.
Other town. Yeah, Santa Mira for the town from every other horror movie ever. Yeah, there was one other town that had it before they mentioned.
Okay.
No, they mentioned San Francisco. They do mention San Francisco.
Yeah.
Like some birds died,
so
or
maybe
something, or whatever there.
Maybe they did.
Yeah,
Okay,
maybe they did.
I missed that then. So
this is ripe for sequels, which we'll get to later. Oh, we'll get to now.
Well, I said, what I really want to know is what would y'all have done differently?
Son of a bitch, you left the bodies and you only moved the headstones! You only moved the headstones! Why?
Yes, I'm gonna jump in first on this one.
Oh wow!
If you don't mind. Well, what I would do differently is if I'm the teacher, I'm these kids, maybe I wait about a few feet from the school before I just start hauling ass, running and screaming. It seems like they were doing fine until all of a sudden they just started running right at the school, and the birds were like, oh, okay, cool. And they start attacking. Maybe they should have just waited a little bit.
Yeah. Like in a single file line, orderly.
Yeah. I've done a number of fire drills, Nate, as I'm sure you have, Taylor.
Sure,
at no point is there once we get outside, run your ass off.
Run like a crazy person. Yeah, there's none of that. That's true. Not in the fire code at all.
Yeah. So, I guess the children's sacrifice helped Mitch later on. So I guess you have that. Lisa, what do you do differently?
Getting the hell out of town a hell of a lot earlier than any of these people did. Everyone's just like, bunker down. It'll be fine. I'm like, no. Get out. Let's go before the roadblock goes up.
There's no roadblock.
Yeah, there's one in the radio.
They say on the radio that they all the roads
have been
Bodega Bay.
Really?
Yeah, as they're driving. Yeah.
At the beginning of the movie, they've already talked about alternate routes to Bodega Bay because he tells her exactly how to get there in the hallway of Mitch's apartment.
So,
which was a classic kind of tidbit of here are the multiple routes through California you can take to the specific location.
It's such a California thing. You can take the
highway one or take the highway. Yeah, which one? I would take the coastal highway.
You definitely go this if you really want the more scenic route.
And the mom's like, oh yeah. Oh, take the main highway. It's faster. Don't worry.
It's really like an episode of The Californians from SNL.
It is.
Taylor, what do you do differently?
So first of all, pretty much anything Melanie Daniels did, I would not do. But that
Don't
aside,
stalk people
I wouldn't
randomly.
stalk the guy. I wouldn't bring the lovebirds. I wouldn't write a note to his sister. But that all aside, all the crazy stuff aside, I think, basically, still anything Melanie Daniels would have done, I wouldn't have done. Why on earth was she compelled to go up into the attic room? There was nothing. I mean,
That
maybe she
was
heard
dumb.
the noise, but it was like, why go in there? And then once you're in there, don't close the door behind you. I mean, everything about that was idiotic.
that was
I would have
bad.
not done that.
That was the scene with the live birds, and they tied some of them to her with nylon string.
Yeah.
So the birds couldn't
Yeah,
fly.
so they're
further.
all over.
Horrible.
It's messed.
All
It's
over.
really messed up. They actually halted production for a while after she filmed that scene because she was so like.
You don't want to make
Beat
out with
up.
my gross Englishness? This is what you get.
So her passed out on the couch afterwards is real. That wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
that wasn't fake. No, that's all we need to know.
That was real.
Yeah. So adding to that, instead of trying to hunker down in like the whole house, they had these huge rooms, all whatever. If I was Mitch, I'd hunker down in one room and use all of that wood to really lock it down.
In a windowless room?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Windowless room.
Like
Windowless room,
hurricane
or
safety.
make the windowless room like a bunch of wood that you used everywhere
Yeah.
on this one window.
Fortify it.
Fortify one room.
I mean, it's just like hurricane prep.
Exactly.
Hurricane prep, bird prep, same thing.
Yeah,
Same-
exactly.
Same basic steps.
I would have done that, and then to play on Mitch's thing, I would have said, so if you get Kathy into the car, the end scene of the movie should have been the car driving down and then the window opening and the birds getting chucked out. That
knew where
should
you
have
were
been
going.
the end of the movie.
Oh,
For
Christ.
sure. This like the cage just exploding out of this car.
Christ,
Oh my
that,
gosh.
yes.
That's true. And then I have one other one. So when Tippi Hedren is unconscious, they're like, we need to get her to a hospital. Like she's having real problems. They walk her out. She's like in a daze, and she wakes up looking at a million
Yeah.
birds right at her.
Terrible.
And that's like kind of the last thing she saw before she passed out, getting like pecked to death. Right?
Yeah.
It was really bad. Yeah, maybe just like give her like a hood or something, like a mask or like put a
Kidnap her?
bandana
Yeah,
over.
abduct her.
Well, she's already
much.
barely walking anyway. Like that is like the worst.
But she did bring it on herself by going into the attic room.
It's true, but this is like the worst
dumb.
game of Beekaboo I've ever seen. Drop for birds.
I would. I want to add one more before we go next. But I would say if I'm the birds, maybe
Oh,
I
shit.
maybe
There
I
we
split
go.
this up into waves because there's just a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
Like what if like some attack now and then some attack? You just section it off.
Maybe they're tired. Maybe
Well,
they're tired.
that's fine. But while I'm resting, another
Form
group's
squadrons?
going.
So get shifts. No, get shift. It's just shift work. It's just
All
shift
right.
work.
It's like first the ravens are going, then the crows, and then the pigeons are gonna poop on shit, and
Yeah.
then we're gonna just restart that cycle.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
constantly activity.
The
Yeah.
resting though was nice because it was very menacing, and they're just sitting there.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
know,
Oh, yeah.
are they going to attack me now, or are
Yeah.
they just chilling?
You know,
so
after-
it was.
Look,
ominous.
after I drink a bunch of whiskey and eat bread, I'm pretty stoic as well.
Yeah,
so it's just,
You know what?
Exactly.
that works for any species apparently, not just birds.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
If I would have fed them whiskey and wheat.
Well, they don't know that.
Then you just get away real. Yeah, but now
But
you
all
know.
they had was brandy.
But hey, the
They
point
just
of
kept
this
drinking
segment is
brandy.
if you were in this situation, how would you survive? And that is it. If birds are attacking you, fellow listener, feed them wheat and whiskey.
This is like a Jack Daniels ad. Just waiting to happen.
Yeah, don't feed them the good whiskey. Feed them some
aged-
bullshit. You know,
Mila
it's-
Kunis is in some commercial like saying
Right.
aged in a barrel.
Get like a jug of Evan Williams
Fire,
or something.
whatever.
I don't
It's
know.
like-
Whatever's on the bottom shelf.
And at the end, it's like, and you won't have birds attacking you.
Extra wheat.
Jack Daniels honey birds.
Any person in
I don't
Texas
know.
who has a hurricane preparedness kit has a bottle of some sort of bourbon, whiskey, whatever, as part of what you need to
Old granddad.
get through
Yeah,
it.
got
Old
it.
granddad for Nate, but
Sure.
he's not a true Texan.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, well, listen, guys, I need a sequel.
Cause let's face it, baby, these days, you gotta have a sequel. Ah!
So, all right, Nate, I know you are just all aflutter about what your potential sequel
Flutter?
could be.
Oh man, that was awkward for sure, Mitch. God, you're terrible.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Texas Podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gonna do it for
This is
us.
our last episode. It is over. after this. Okay, so I have a sequel. It's so the birds are not the best tacticians. You already went over this. The birds are not great tacticians.
No.
They need help. So they retreat because they're like, you know what? We're like really bad at like this whole planning thing. We don't have the waves. We don't have the shifts. We're really bad at this. They need to team up with somebody else to get the human murder correct.
Yeah.
During the day, the birds seem to be good, but at night, they're not really attacking anybody in this movie. They need to team up with the owls. Imagine it. Birds during the day.
Owls take the night shift.
Owls take the night shift. Birds to night shift. Or birds to owl out war. Either way, it would be perfect.
Not hootenanny?
No, not a hootenanny.
That's much better. Hootenanny.
Hootenanny?
Hootenanny. Yes.
Mainly because it's fun to say.
The Amish. This is an Amish. No, this is the Amish sequel that Mitch wants. He always wants an Amish movie. They're raising a barn. They're having a literal hootenanny.
Nate.
Then the birds come.
You think so little of
Exactly
me.
what's
You think I
happening.
went to the Amish well again?
You did. You always go to the Amish well.
Not this time because
Always.
it's dry. What I did instead is I thought about, all right, what is the logical next step
Yeah.
in an escalating war between us and another species?
Sure.
We saw it in War for the Rise of the Planet of the Simians.
You are
The
adding a
Dawn
lot
of the
words.
Apes.
Dawn of the Apes.
Dawn of the Rise of the War for the planet.
Yeah.
That's right.
The military is stepping in, Nate. They got to. But our weapons are ineffective against birds. How do you have a homing missile on a bird that can just change path to nothing? You can't do it.
Yeah.
You have to genetically engineer a new weapon.
Okay. There we go.
You're going to take pigs and give them wings.
What the fuck is
When
happening?
pigs
The
fly.
birds too. When pigs fly.
Oh, yes.
This is the worst.
Best titles ever.
That is the worst.
Subtitle Hootenanny.
Wow. This is more like a Babe sequel than it is a Bird sequel. It's terrible.
My
pig.
alternate was
Yeah, that'll do. That's the last line of the movie. That'll do, pig. Like the
Done.
last pig kills a bird.
we can
and
just
falls
we
down.
can just end
Greenlighted.
it there. Thank you all for listening.
Yeah.
All right, Taylor. Your
That's
your
a lot
sequel.
to follow
Yeah.
up. That is. That's
They're all so
excessive.
excellent. So they're, I guess, logical next step geographically is San Francisco, since that seems
Sure.
to be where they're heading.
Of course.
course.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I also want to recruit another actor for this film, The Rock, because everything
Well,
he's
of
in
course.
is
The Rock's in everything.
absurd.
Yeah.
He's in everything, and everything's absurd. And I'd like to put him on The Rock, aka Alcatraz,
My God, this is so
in
good.
San Francisco.
This is so good.
Is this a
And
Michael Bay movie?
It's got to be.
it very well could.
Can we
be.
possibly have Samuel L. Jackson in here also?
Why
He's
not?
tired of these
I'm
motherfucking
tired
birds.
on this motherfucking rock. So I think it would be, and then somehow this whole crew gets there and they're all, telling their tale. But I think the military is involved as well, and they're based off Alcatraz because
Okay.
why not?
Okay.
And
They
it
can
would
put
be-
nets over it. Ooh, they net
Yeah.
it, and then so the
Ooh.
birds can't get to them. It's central
There you go.
command base.
Maybe. But anyways, maybe they're having more trouble on the island. I don't know. Whatever. They're on the rock. The rock is there, and it would be Birds 2 Battle for the Rock.
I was going to
Birds
say
too,
Birds
that's
2
right.
Rock Bottom.
Ooh. I mean,
Nice.
it would be a rock bottom film.
Yeah.
So, so that's fair.
On the rocks. Yikes.
On the rocks. I like that. Oh, that is solid. I would probably pay to see that one. I would.
It's better than Skyscraper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
let's make the distinction.
Hold on. No, I have this. I absolutely. In her movie, you dust up the old bones of Steven Seagal. And then you have some sort of...
What do you mean dust them up? Just go find him at catering.
Yeah,
Tell him to put the sandwich down and come out for a second.
Send a plane from Russia, get Steven Seagal, and say there's got to be some sort of Steven Seagal related thing that you can make out of this. You have to put him in this movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was going to ask if it was going to be, are we saying The Rock or Dwayne
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
All right, which stage of his career, his metamorphosis?
You can go early. This could be like an early 2000s.
At which stage of the
No, I think
of the
current.
Rock-a-sance?
No.
I think current. Like
Yeah.
I want the same Rock that's in Rampage in
Gotcha.
this
Okay.
movie.
That's fair.
Do we? It's that or the Tooth Fairy or whatever. I don't know. There's some stupid. Lisa. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking Vin Diesel. They're both.
The pacifier?
Yeah, the pacifier.
Vin Diesel could be there. Bruce Willis could be there. Any action star. But The
it's-
Rock
it's-
is non-negotiable.
It's the Fast and the Furious, but on the but with
Yeah.
birds. I love it. Lisa, what's your?
Y'all forgetting they already made one? And we reviewed it on this podcast. It's It's called Thanksgiving.
What is happening? Okay, go ahead. Wow.
The bird, he attacks. That's the sequel right there.
In the movie, he's been asleep since the Revolutionary War.
He gets woke.
He gets woke. That's for sure.
And he attacks.
This guy's not woke. He's raping chicks.
So are all the birds just banging chicks?
It's all the turkeys. It's the turkey's time. Turkey revolution.
Turkey time.
Turkey time.
Turkey time.
Birds too.
Right there.
Turkey time.
Birds too. Turkey time.
Wow.
He saw that trailer where Alfred Hitchcock was eating the chicken. He went, "Not me.
Right?
Not me."
Wow. Oh man.
Alfred, it's just gonna be a scene. It's like every.
That's awful.
I love it. What I want to see is just one with like. It's like you do your part, like an Uncle Sam, one of those old, like, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like just fat dudes just going to KFC, like, I'm doing my part.
Larry the Cable Guy is available for this movie that you're picturing.
Get her done. And with that, it is time to move into
Final Cut.
Wow.
Christ, this has been something. So, Taylor, as our guest, you have the honor of going first. What do you give this final cut for the birds?
I'd say somewhere around a 7 or 8, I think.
You got,
out of 10. Is this out of 10?
Pick one. Yeah, gotta pick one though.
So I'd go 8 because I love talking about this movie. I think I like talking about this movie more than I liked watching this movie, but I also like watching this movie. There's just a lot. There's a lot here to unpack, and it's also very well shot, which I appreciate.
Yeah, cinematography in this movie is top notch with using a lot of birds. I mean, they did a great job. I think that's undeniable.
Yeah.
Okay, so 8 out of 10 what?
8 out of 10 liquor bottles in the diner.
Oh, all right. That was not utilized enough in this. Like,
there were so many liquor bottles in the diner,
like,
though. I've never seen a diner with more alcohol.
These kids are complaining to start doing the gum rub move. You just start getting that from like, oh, look, Timmy's happy now. Stop complaining about your kids being afraid.
They did all drink a lot of brandy, but that was about it.
That's true, yeah.
No wonder little Damien's so calm when we
yeah,
get back
exactly.
from babysitting. Lisa.
I wasn't the biggest fan. I really did feel like it dragged a lot. I feel like he was the Tolkien of the movie world because he just went like, there's just scenes and I was like, let's go, man. Get on. Like, how far in the movie before we saw the first bird attack?
It was around 40 something minutes before you see like the eyeless person.
Yeah.
It was a full hour until the actual birds attacked.
So it just dragged. It was well shot, but it dragged on for me. So I'll probably give it a 5 out of 10. Really bad driving up curvy mountains, whatever the heck she was doing.
Roads,
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, so for me, I am going to give this 8 out of 10 lovebirds. I mean, it's a classic movie. I'm going to tell you, it could easily be an hour and a half. You could really skip a lot of the early stuff. Outside of, you'd miss out on some of the ridiculous shit we've been talking about.
Maybe you're saying streamline, maybe not gear, but like
streamline it. Sure. I mean,
that's
because there's a lot of stuff that happens between Mitch and Melanie that really, it doesn't ever really go anywhere. It's just like,
well, they kiss.
There didn't need to be a 20-minute conversation of, did you lie? Yes. Okay, I don't care. Instead, it went on and they're like, maybe we should see each other. Maybe not.
Extraneous dialogue.
She keeps ducking his questions for sure. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Also, the entire scene in the pet shop needed to be so much shorter because I could not hear even the dialogue over the sound of all the birds chirping.
Squawking.
That was terrible. That was a horrible way to open a film.
Boom.
But let me
horrible way to open.
But
a film.
I'll say this, yeah. If it was streamlined, it'd make it a whole lot better. You know, I think from an aging perspective, it doesn't have the same bite as I think it did when I first saw it.
Same bite?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. So, but let's be real though. The technique, I give it a higher score because the technical ability in this movie, the how they did the birds, how they did the scenes overlaid on top of the other scenes with the birds flying around.
It was
really,
good.
Really make it. Trust me, if this movie was redone today, it would be Andy Serkis doing every one of those himself in a big green suit, just attacking people on his own, and that's how they would handle this remake. So
definitely,
yeah, 8 out of 10 lovebirds for this one.
Yeah, so for me, as everyone knows, I am always raving about this movie. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I really like this. This is one of my favorite movies ever. So, cinematography's great. Melanie, as an insane person, is an interesting character study in general. For like, yeah, I'm this fucking badass lady in 1963. My dad owns a newspaper. I'm crushing it, just doing whatever I want, and I can like play with you and don't fuck with me. Like, I loved it. I thought that was fantastic. The bird shot. I mean, can you tell me another movie that did animals better than this? Like, doing birds is so hard. I can't even imagine like wrangling any sort of other animals. I mean, like, we did It Comes at Night, and the dog ran away one time, and that was it. That was probably like the real scene. Like, the dog ran away. They're like, we can't get him back. I guess he's dead now.
We don't have it in the budget to get a new dog.
Exactly. They couldn't even do that. And in the 1963, they were wrangling thousands of birds. I mean, that's crazy. I give them just props just for that.
I mean, that's why they had to get the Olsen triplets for Full House.
Yeah, exactly.
One got away.
Yeah, exactly.
They still had two.
All right,
they could
throw
use.
up Mary Kate or whatever, Elizabeth, whatever's happening. Yeah, I agree. But no, I loved it. So yeah, 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 lovebirds for me as well.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. Taylor, thanks so much for joining us. Hate to see you fly away, but we will be back next week with an all new episode. Nate, tell them where they can find us.
Yeah, you can tweet us at TX Pod Massacre, as always. You can find us at our website at TexasPodcastMassacre.com. If you have Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, all the other podcast platforms, please rate, review, subscribe, and let us know how you think we're doing.
All right. Well, from all of us here at Texas Podcast Massacre, just keep telling yourself it's only a movie. Good night.